All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome in. So we have some breaking Jets news here. Just came out like 2-3 minutes ago. The team went out and released quarterback Tim Boyle and signed quarterback Brett Rypien. Now, Rypien's obviously a guy who, former Denver Bronco quarterback. Funny enough, the Jets actually played Rypien when he was when he was filling in for Russell Wilson as the starter. Rypien spent some time with the LA Rams this season, the Seattle Seahawks, and has that playing experience with Nathaniel Hackett. So at face value, I actually really like the move. Again, Rypien's better than Tim Boyle. He has familiarity with the system, so the onboarding process is going to be accelerated. It's going to be picked up much more quickly, as opposed to somebody that doesn't have any experience working with Nathaniel Hackett and trying to understand the scheme, the idea, the terminology, if you will. All that stuff is pretty much. Rypien has I would assume, has a pretty good understanding at this point in time. I feel much, you can make an argument Brett Rypien's probably the best quarterback on the roster. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see him in the starting lineup at some point this season. But my issue is that it's too little too late. It feels too little too late. The Jets are currently on a 5-game losing streak. We're 4-8. We're 4 games beneath 500, which is the average mark. You have teams in the AFC that are passing the Jets by. You have teams in the AFC that are doing more with less. Teams that are young and rebuilding, but look much more sound than the Jets. How is that possible? We're 2.5 years in the making with Saleh, with all these guys. I guess, Hackett's the new OC, but it's not like this is his first crack at it. Obviously last season with Denver, he's been the OC before with Green Bay, with Jacksonville, with Buffalo, and our offense is a complete and utter mess. Name an aspect of of any sort of offensive football, chances are the Jets can't do it, right? We can't throw the ball. We can't run the ball. We can't protect the quarterback. We can't open up holes in the running game. We have inconsistent wide receiver play. We have veterans disappointing. We have players not living up to their contracts. We have horrendous play calls, just pitiful game plans. It's the same thing every week. We're horrible in the red zone. We're horrible on third downs. Always starting off slow. We average less than a touchdown per game. It's just a joke. It's a flat-out laughingstock. And I feel bad for, some of the players on this squad, like Jason Brownlee and, Garrett Wilson, Xavier Gibson, and Breece Hall. And, it's so hard to watch. The offense is so hard to watch, and we are completely wasting a great defense and a great special teams unit. And again, my attention goes right back to Joe Douglas. Why? Because Brett Rypien was waived from the LA Rams, I believe, November 7th. Now, of course, he was picked up November 10th by the Seattle Seahawks. But if the Jets actually had interest in upgrading the quarterback position, we would have made a move then. If we really loved Brett Rypien, if we, in our heart of hearts, truly believed that Rypien was better than Tim Boyle, we would have made this move a month ago. And Rypien would not have been a member of the Seattle Seahawks. We would have jumped on him. And, you can go down the list, and it just makes you so angry as a fan, right? You can go down the list of all these teams that are having success with backup quarterbacks, teams that were proactive. Let's talk about the Colts, right? A young rebuilding football team with a brand new rookie head coach in Shane Steichen, who drafted a quarterback 4th overall in Anthony Richardson. He gets hurt. Guess who steps in? It's Gardner Minshew. Gardner Minshew was available this offseason, did not sign a big contract. The Colts have 7 wins. I believe the Colts have 7 wins as of right now and in the playoff picture. We can talk about Josh Dobbs. Of course, struggled against the Chicago Bears, but he has really been a lifeline for the Vikings, right? He's really kept them upright. He's kept them breathing within the NFC. He's done a great job, especially coming in on short notice. We can now talk about Jake Browning for the Cincinnati Bengals, who looked freaking good last night against Jacksonville, right? He's completing tons of passes all over the place. We can talk about Joe Flacco stepping in, who was out there this entire time, who's been a member of the Jets. He comes in off the street, has a couple of weeks of practice, and looks better than every quarterback on the Jets roster. This problem, this backup quarterback dilemma should have been fixed this offseason. And if you want to give Douglas a pass for this offseason, that's fine. But I just don't understand how we can give Douglas a pass for not signing a quarterback or not bringing one in after Rodgers got hurt. And I don't want to hear Saleh and I don't want to hear Douglas and Hackett talk about, oh, well, the plan was to redshirt Zach Wilson. No, it wasn't. It wasn't, because he was gifted the backup quarterback job. Redshirt rules are a little bit different now, but when I hear the term redshirt, that means you sit for the entire season. You don't play. Why is Zach Wilson the backup quarterback? He's one play away from starting. So no, the plan was not to redshirt him, because if it was, we would have signed a Teddy Bridgewater, we would have signed a Jacoby Brissett, we would have signed any one of these veteran backup quarterbacks in the offseason. And hey, if the Jets want to wait, it's Tim Boyle, whoever it is. Again, that's fine, but be proactive after Rodgers goes down. Don't just sit on your hands, and that's exactly what the Jets did. And we can even talk about Carson Wentz too. Carson Wentz could be worse than Tim Boyle, but the problem I have with Douglas is that he didn't even attempt to look. Carson Wentz and his team contacted the Jets asking for a workout. They didn't say, hey, can I sign a 1-year, $20 million deal? I'll come in and be your guys' backup for 1 year, $8 million. No, he contacted the Jets suggesting a workout. Hey, you guys are down a quarterback. Obviously, I've had success in the NFL. I'm still young enough to play. I still have interest in playing. Can I go out there and show you guys what I can do, what I can bring to the table, what I can offer as a free agent quarterback right now? And the Jets said no. Why did they say no to a workout? Again, if Wentz said, hey, can I have a 3-year contract? Okay, yeah. No, I'm good. I'll understand Douglas from that aspect. But for a workout doesn't hurt the team in the slightest. You could have found a potential option. And again, what are the chances of that happening? Pretty slim. Wentz is not a top 15 quarterback or anything like that. And again, he could be worse than everybody that the Jets have. But the fact that we didn't look irritates me. The fact that the general manager did not do due diligence at exploring other options when it was 1,000% clear and obvious anybody would make that move. It's not, like if you're playing Madden and your starting quarterback goes down, the common thing to do, common sense, the realistic thing to do is, oh, well, we're down a QB. We might not be as good as we planned or, how we believe the offense would have been with the starting quarterback. It sucks. It's a tough break. But you know what? We got to adjust. We have to be proactive. We have to have a plan B. Let's go out and bring some QBs in for workouts. Let's have three quarterbacks in. The best one the one that we feel comfortable with, we'll bring him onto the practice squad. Get him adjusted. Yeah, the Jets brought in Simeon weeks and weeks and weeks after Rodgers goes down. Reason why we're not seeing Trevor Simeon out there now is because he needs to learn the system and whatnot. It's just completely backwards. I haven't seen a situation this obvious. And this isn't some sort of hindsight 2020 thing either. Every fan called this. Every fan was just like, sitting around at fans of other teams, media members. They're like, yeah, the Jets got to bring in a QB, right? They have to. Nope. For whatever reason, no. So I don't know if it's an arrogance thing. I don't know. I refuse to believe that Douglas just was oblivious to the entire thing. To me, I think he wanted Zach to be the guy. But the problem is the team building, the self-scouting is so bad offensively. We have numerous problems. We have a multitude of different issues. It's not a one-man fix. It's not. O-line, receivers, running, like everybody. The offense is a disaster. Which again falls right back on Joe Douglas's shoulders. So I like Brett Rypien. I have nothing against him, and I'm excited to see what he brings to the table. But we're 4 games under 500. Pretty much every team in the AFC outside of like New England, arguably Tennessee, they're better than the Jets, right? Cincy, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Buffalo, Miami, Kansas City, Vegas, Broncos, Chargers, Texans, Jaguars, Colts. So too little too late. And it sucks because I would have been pumped up about this move if it happened at the start of November when he was initially waived. So I'll leave it there. Let me know your thoughts. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it. And as always, go Jets.